आपको पीछे वादियों की आवाज़ सुनाई दे रही है? ये सुनाई दे रही है कि पीछे कोई झील की आवाज़ आ रही है? Well, welcome to Subramani, and please don't get carried away by the beautiful background. What I'm going to talk to you about is not so great. Frauds have always happened, and frauds feed on one thing. Now we have given it nice names: FOMO, fear of missing out, right? FOMO. When any asset prices go up dramatically, people have to be lured to come into it in a way that they can afford to come into it. So if equity markets go up and people can't afford to buy shares paying full money, then you have to come with installment schemes and say, if you give me 1,000 rupees a month, I will buy so much, right? So lot of such schemes abound. So now obviously there has to be a scheme, there has to be a fraud with bitcoins, right? So for a recent fraud on bitcoins, let me read from what they have done, and you will find that almost all frauds have a same pattern. Fraudsters continue to exploit the rising popularity of digital assets to lure retail investors into scams and the so-called initial coin offering scam. Investors may be less skeptical of investment opportunities that involve something of a cutting-edge technology or may get up caught in the fear of missing out. So the SEC, which is the US equivalent of SEBI, or SEBI is the US Indian equivalent of SEC, the enforcement authority, in a very nice case called SEC versus BitConnect, the SEC took enforcement action. The SEC took enforcement action against Ponzi-like schemes. The defendants collected approximately 3,25,000 bitcoins worth 2 billion. They were told कि यहाँ दे दो, we will trade with it, and we will create more money for you. Full stop. Do you remember there's another thing which happened like this? That was Carvey. They said, just leave your shares here, don't do anything, sign this form, we will trade in it and give you money, and all that money is gone. I don't think a big part of it will be recovered. A lot of it is lost, right? So let me read from the order. It says, the founder of the platform lured investors with false promise of profits to be generated by purported proprietary Bitcoin trading bot, and secretly paid a network of promoters around the world for their efforts to promote the lending platform through testimonial YouTube videos. Do you realize what we are up to? If a company decides tomorrow that they want to do an IPO in, say, we are now in September, in say March, they can pay people to do testimonials. Let me repeat, most of the big celebrities do paid testimonials. So I can just come and say, मुझे तो ये शेयर बहुत अच्छा लगता है, it is a great buy, you must buy, etc, etc. And if 100 people like me say, and let's say 1,000 people follow each of us on an average, it will mean 1,000 into 100 people will apply for a share which may or may not be good. Please understand, a lot of endorsements on YouTube is not natural. See, I'm sitting here and talking to you about a place called Jibi. I am wearing a Ranthambore hat, or I think it's a Tadoba hat. Right, you can see the Tadoba thing. I'm not getting paid by the mayor of Jibi. I don't think Jibi has a mayor, or by Tadoba to do this. So I'm endorsing Jibi because I'm sitting in Jibi and I'm talking about it. You can see how beautiful the clouds are, but I'm not getting paid for doing any of these stuff. But tomorrow, if somebody pays money to a so-called expert with, say, 50,000 followers or 5 lakh followers, which is even better, obviously you will not know the difference. So that is paid. There was a secret paid network promoters. The SEC also alleges that investors were rewarded for recruiting new victims. वो भी किया उन्होंने. They have also done this thing of doing a pyramid kind of a sale. Old investors were rewarded with bitcoins or whatever for getting newer and newer people. So therefore the size became 2 billion, right? It doesn't become 2 billion without enough effort. That the SEC's complaint note that the platform's website represented investing on Bitcoin platform is a safe way to earn a high rate of return on your investment without having to undergo significant amount of risk. ये देखिए क्या, what are they promising here? They are promising you high return, safe way, without risk. What can be better, right? So this is superb. Now the platform allegedly paid investor withdrawals out of incoming investor funds. Typical Ponzi scheme. New people were paying for the old people getting out, and they did not trade in Bitcoin consistently, and with its representation leading to the platform to collapse and investors to lose a lot of money. So the SEC in its order is saying what should be the giveaways, what if you see you should be worried. So I think it's easy for all of us to know, right? Guaranteed high return in investments. It is impossible for me to guarantee you high returns. If you want high returns, you have to take risk. If you want guaranteed returns, if you give me money, just look at it this way. If you give me money and you say, Subra, this money cannot go down, I will have to keep it in the State Bank of India fixed deposit or an HDFC Bank fixed deposit, right? I dare not put it anywhere else. And from that, if I charge a management fee, let's say I charge a 1% management fee, the bank pays me 5.5%. I can give you only 4.5% because 1% is my fee. So 4.5% is the best you can get in a guaranteed scheme. If you want a guaranteed scheme and you don't need an advisor, you can go maybe to PPF and get about 7%, which could also go down, but it is not guaranteed for the rest of your life, right? So guaranteed high returns is impossible to get. Remember that. Second, the most of these people who sell would be unregistered sellers, right? They are unlicensed or unregistered sellers. Most YouTube players who come and talk up a share and say, "Aap ye share le lo, aap wo share le lo." Let me give you examples. आप Orke ले लो, Silverline ले लो, या ऐसे कोई, because I'm giving these examples because they don't exist. आप Orke ले नहीं सकते हो. You just can't buy Orke. So when I come and say buy Orke, you don't know whether Orke has paid me. You don't know whether Silverline has paid me. You don't know whether Pateja Forging has paid me. But I can say, please come and buy those shares. I talk about it, 10 people talk about it, 100 people talk about it, and it spreads. So, but I'm unlicensed. I don't need to take any permission from anybody for talking up any share on YouTube. So that is what is happening. Anybody who's on YouTube and popular, remember, they don't have any registration with with SEBI or with RBI or with IRDA. There is no such registration. So you can go and say exactly whatever you want. Remember, to set up a newspaper, I need government permission. To set up a YouTube channel, I need nothing, thenga, right? Skyrocketing account values. They send you account statements which show very high values. You put 100 rupees, it has become 1000 rupees, it has become 12,000 rupees, it has become 20,000 rupees, right? So the high skyrocketing account values, when they show you for large returns, are normally fake and they have been created. But what will happen is, if you try to withdraw, they'll say, don't withdraw now, withdraw after 1 year, because then it will become long-term capital gain. Now you will unnecessarily pay too much tax. You know, it is easy to talk a normal person out of it. Then obviously when you hear it itself, it sounds too good to be true. इतना कैसे हो सकता है? The minute you get a feeling कि इतना नहीं हो सकता है, you remember that. Fake testimonials, like I said, any guy who is willing to, any guy or woman who is willing to endorse any product for money. I can endorse a shoe, I can endorse a vacation home, I don't mind. Actually, I don't mind endorsing a vacation home, because the maximum money at risk for you one time would be to go there and stay, maybe spending 50,000 rupees, but not really kill you. But there is a problem in endorsing financial products, because financial products, I don't know how it will turn out after a long period of time. So these are all things that you have to be careful. But let me also tell you that the person who is creating a fraud is also knowing these things. So what he will do is, he'll get extremely credible names, right? If you get names like Virat Kohli, are you going to suspect? And Virat Kohli himself may not know what he is doing, right? Secondly, some of these guys are very smart and they don't guarantee very high returns. They say, oh, you will get very high returns if you stay for a long period. So first year you will get 7%, second year 8%, third year 9%. Only like that you will get. So then what happens is, people are tempted. They say, oh, this guy is not promising very high returns. So be careful about that also. consistent returns. It is impossible to get, whether it is Bitcoin or real estate or equity. You cannot get consistent return. If you want returns like this, it's only a savings bank account or a GSEC which can give you returns like this. Any other asset class will give you returns which are wavy. 1 year will be some 18%, 1 year will be 0, average is 9, but it cannot give you 9 constantly. Fake testimonials, please be very careful. Too many famous people are also doing testimonials. But real big famous people also do testimonials, and that is really sad before they even understand. So what all should you do? You should make sure that the company with whom you are dealing with has got some kind of a registration. It should be registered as an RIA, it should be registered as an MFD, it should be registered as a portfolio management services company. Some such registration would be there, and it is your right to ask for the registration certificate. So ask for the registration certificate, say I want to see it, perfectly within your rights. So do that. Ask people, talking to people is a good way to do it. And ultimately, if you don't like something, some smell test, taste test, something you don't like, don't go near it. Stick to your index funds, stick to bank deposits, right? I can give you other debt products also. Just stick to some of those products. You don't need anything more sophisticated to get a decent return. Thank you.